Let's have some music. All right. A little bit of music. Okay, sorry, I gotta stop this. I gotta stop that. That's not what I want. Okay. That's good moody music. Today I'm gonna do. This is probably gonna be a pretty ad hoc, random episode. I think I'm probably gonna do another open episode where people can just ask questions throughout the whole thing. I had been meaning to do kind of an IRC day, but I just haven't had a chance to advertise it, so I don't think anyone would know about it. So we'll still work on doing that. That in the future, I'll try to get some better advertising and all that. But for now, I think we'll just do a quick little open chat where people can just come in and ask whatever questions. And beyond that, another thing I want to do is I want to do some test of some of the Commonwealth Fleet missions. I've got a couple of bugs on just their difficulty level, and I haven't revisited them in quite a while from a game design perspective. So I think it might be fun this episode to go through those, just to kind of see what needs to be done in terms of getting to be less deadly and or more interesting. Let's see what else, and then of course I'll leave it up to people to comment as we go. John B. Watson says, I figured out how to save and load in Frontier. It involves a virtual machine running. Yeah, well that that does sound rather difficult. But now that you remind me, I'm gonna look through my files. Remember last episode, or when I showed off Frontier, remember I said there existed a later version, and I eventually lost all the source code. Let me see if I can dig that up. I know I lost the source code, but I thought I might have had some running version, and I don't remember. Let me just look through my backup systems. I have a pretty automatic backup system. I don't know if you guys, well, I'm sure you do not care, but John B. Watson says Frontier is a lot harder than Transcendence. It's certainly far less balanced. So it's really definitely not that great. What scares me is that George's V05 statement appears to think that he believes it was too easy. Yeah, I honestly don't think that I knew what I was talking about. I think it's quite fair to say that I did not know what I was talking about in terms of difficulty or anything else back then. Okay, so it's not here. Let me see if it would be in archives. This is... Okay, this is kind of what I was thinking. But I don't think I have an actual executable. Bummer. This is the actual source code, but I don't think I have anything beyond that. But what I will do. Just looking to see. I swear I had some stuff. Yeah, some I started experimenting with some ray trace stuff around this time. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. No, that's terrible. But this is when I started experimenting with some. There's the Frontier icon. Yeah, so this. I started experimenting with kind of a little bit more graphical look, and if you can imagine, this is obviously where Transcendence started going, so I didn't have to go very far before I stopped. Huh, interesting. Yeah, this is all coming back to me. A lot of this stuff, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is all lost. Here's a lot of the dialogue panel. Yeah, no, useless. I don't have a version number here, but this is clearly this clearly is a later version than what you guys are seeing, than what I have running. That's crazy. I think that's horrible personally, but look at the yeah, that's I don't think that would have gone too far. Mars texture. Yeah, terrible. This is when I literally was just learning how to do models, so most of these models are really embarrassingly horrible. This, you might remember from Transcendence. I think I lifted this out of this version and used it in Transcendence. Oh, here are the sprites. Now we're talking. A lot of these are sprites that do not exist in the game. Some of these are rendered. Like these look like they've been rendered. These don't look hand-drawn. Even this, I think, is rendered. These, look at these. These look like, what am I thinking? Centauri. These are kind of crazy cylinder things. I need to recreate those. Those are kind of cool. Yes, this is kind of the old style and the new rendered style. Huh. So who knew? Okay, what else we got? Here's some other ones. Oh, look at this. That's my Planet Killer ripoff. These are like this, and these are the EI 100 kind of classes. And there's a Star Destroyer. This one's a pretty cool looking ship. I should do a version of that for Transcendence. This is, you know, I mean, this looks like just like the Scarab class. More. These icons are tiny, but you can see kind of the little shuttle type thing. These weird things. This one looks like the Manticore. Not the Manticore, like a Molotov. And this one looks like a Centaurian. These. I guess I really have not gotten any better. And then these are. These look like Ares ships. This is pretty crazy, I have to admit. Let's see what people are saying. Okay, so sadly I still don't think I have an actual executable. So it's not just that I lost the source code. I think I lost the executable as well, which is kind of sad. Yeah. That's too bad. And this source code does not compile. It's not complete. I forgot exactly what the problem is, but it's definitely not complete. How sad. Oh, there's something, but I think that's... So I'm in a zip file, those are old. This is 1996. Your administrator requires a scan of this item. Ah! Oh, I'm missing a DLL. That's the problem. That's the problem. This is, I think, that version of the executable, but unfortunately, I'm missing a DLL, which I don't think I ever was able to recover. Oh, how sad. How sad, and I don't have the source code to that, whatever that DLL was. It's long since gone. But that this lost version has some of those files that I showed you, some of those images that I showed you. So who only knows what that would have become. Well, actually, I know what would have become. It would have eventually turned into something like Transcendence, but I don't. I'm actually really glad with the path I took with Transcendence. I think it would have been. I think this would not have ended up quite as good. I think I certainly didn't know very much back then, so I think it would have been even more primitive. But oh man, that's pretty horrible. Sorry. Let me get back to my chats. That's not it. So someone's asking, what is the title? What is this Twitch about today? And it really is just a kind of open. Sorry, I'm gonna go back to my channel. I forgot. I lost. Really is just a. There we go. Sorry, I just lost my chat channel. Otherwise, I can't see who's chatting. All right. Anyway, so yeah, so this Twitch session is really going to be pretty random. I'm really just taking questions. As I said in the intro, I was hoping to kind of do an open IRC day today, but I didn't advertise it enough. I didn't, get my act together. So I think I'm just gonna essentially do a lot of the just take questions as people ask them. And then the second thing I wanted to do this episode is play some of the Commonwealth Fleet missions, because they are just increasingly very outdated, and I just want to really figure out if there's if I can kind of update their balance, because as we've seen, some are way too hard, some are way too easy. So I want to see what I can do it. Question: if you remember, did Frontier have an end? I'm certain that it did not. It certainly, I mean, even Transcendence, when it first came out, didn't have an end other than, in fact, I'm not even sure if .07 had Heretic. It might not even have had Heretic. I don't even remember if Transcendence .07 had that. But I'm very sure that that Frontier didn't have an end. The whole thing about Dominant Orcus and kind of that storyline was after Frontier. Frontier, I don't believe I ever came up with a storyline. Not that I remember. I think it just, I would come up with enemies and maybe half-heartedly think about backstories, but I don't think there was ever any kind of overarching storyline. And on top of that, Frontier, if I remember correctly, had very, very few mission types, and certainly no mission arcs where you could kind of see anything. So nothing like that. John B. Watson says, I saw the arena but didn't get around to completing it. Got as far as a CLA shipyard with an antimatter turret. Ooh, that's cool. Well, that's pretty cool. If I keep going, will it keep getting harder? I'm still seeing new enemies and system types. It certainly was very unbalanced. I mean, but I do believe you will see. I do believe it does keep getting harder, and I do believe you do keep getting more enemies or more equipment to help you. So, it was. I attempted to balance it, but I don't think I managed to make it balanced in the end. Okay, let's keep going. So before I get started with some of the Commonwealth missions, I'll tell you a little bit about what I've been up to. I'm mostly in bug fix mode right now for Beta 1, for 1.8 Beta 1. I've done a bunch of minor changes, a bunch of API changes that people have requested. You can see the list on Ministry. Just look at the 1.8 Beta 1 list, and that's what I'm working fix. I don't know if I'll get to every single one of those, but I do want to get to most of those, and then I'm going to release a 1.8 beta 1 probably this weekend, maybe tomorrow if I can finish it, but more likely this weekend or Monday. And then I'm going to move on. I'm going to end up spending a lot of time on part 2, while we kind of play with it. I might, because since PM is online, I might, and PM did a lot of work on rebalancing the weapons. I think now that PM has a little bit of experience on rebalancing, I might take another stab at changing the balance for particularly tracking weapons and area weapons. Area weapons I've never been happy with in terms of balance. Tracking weapons I think should be simpler, but I might take a stab at that in 1.8 beta 1 and then let people see what it feels like, so that we can take any feedback into account. So I'm gonna see if I can do that. At least tracking weapons, I think, where we have a little bit more data. I'm just gonna write this down to remind myself. Okay. The other thing I've been doing this last week, I did just a very, very quickly early this morning, was some rebalancing to the armor repair items. There's a couple bugs about having them be level limited, and I think that's pretty smart. The other thing I did is just, if look at the rough balance of armor items, they were not very competitive with just going to a station and repairing your armor. You'd end up having to carry around a lot of tonnage for a fairly poor price per hit point ratio. So I just rescaled them a little bit so that at least they're now comparable to station prices. Meaning, if you have an item repair item, you'll pay a little bit more, but not a ton more. A little bit more price per hit point to repair your armor with a device. Well, I'm sorry, with an armor repair item, than just getting it at the station. So that makes them a little bit more competitive, but it certainly won't be cheaper. So it won't. There is no advantage to hoarding them. So hopefully that'll make them a little bit more balanced. Okay. Here's a question, sort of a random question, but what ended up happening with the official ranks extension? Indefinite hiatus? Yeah, that's a great question, because that's one of my... I really would love to do something on that extension. It is... The thing about that extension is, I think we never quite could figure out, how to balance all the work. There's a lot of work in that extension, and... I don't know that we ever kind of doled out the work well enough so that it could get done. Eventually, various people started losing interest, and it kind of did just go into indefinite hiatus. For the next official expansion, and again, this is still very rough because I'm really just working on part 2. For the next official expansion after part 2, obviously, I'm thinking of something involving the Sung slavers. That's consistently been something that people have asked for in the last poll I took. So I think we could do something like that. I'm also thinking, as part of that, basically I can imagine something like, I'm imagining something like a Commonwealth kind of an expansion. You know how there's like a corporate command expansion? Imagine a parallel expansion for Commonwealth stuff where the main enemy is the Sung. That's kind of roughly where I'm heading right now, but I don't know if that'll actually work. That's too bad. Someone says, too bad. I was really looking to more rank stuff. Yeah, I am too, and so I'm not too. I don't think that's ever gonna totally go away. So I feel your pain. Okay, what else? I was thinking of doing something on the ranks, but I got multiple projects right now, so I won't be able to do any real modding for at least a few months. Yeah, it's you know, it's hard. Everyone's got a real life, so it's a little bit hard. Um, Fat Rat Knight says, I uninstall shields for free repairs with Domina powers. Mind, I haven't played any of the 1.8 alphas though. Yeah, I think that's probably still. I think that still works. That's still effective. But and I wonder if that's. I wonder if people would consider that an exploit. Maybe not. I mean, you still have to find the Domina station, if I remember correctly. So I don't know. That may or may not be. PM says, I need to expand Drake Tech and maintain playership drones. Yeah, I completely. You're definitely super busy. Drake Tech, I think I'm looking forward to. It's always a cool expansion. That was a Minotaur beating a pirate frigate. That's kind of cool. Not surprising. I mean, the Minotaur's at pretty high level. Okay. I guess let's get started. As I said, I wanted to test out some Commonwealth fleet missions. First, I want to see what happens with the Scorpion. I guess the Scorpion is no threat to the Minotaur. It's not even going through its shields. Yeah, there it goes. Disabling shields really should have Domina repair armor instead of restore shields. I think that maybe that's right. Maybe that's right. I don't know if that ends up making Domina powers too powerful though, but I don't know. John B. Watson says, I think he's referring to the restore power, not sisters repair. So yeah, I buy that. I didn't get that at first, but yeah, now I get it. And yeah, that makes sense. All right, let me. Oh, that's a Naga, not a Scorpion. Yeah, God, I do get confused, but you're right. It doesn't have the wings on the. It doesn't have the wings on the side. Domina repairs armor if there's no shield, which I think is reasonable. If armor takes damage, I run. Yeah, and I think that makes sense. I kind of think the game is roughly designed for that. It's certainly in the past, I think shields were a little bit more powerful and armor was a little bit weaker. And I think the game was much harder because once shields went down, armor just came down so quickly that you just died instantly. Now I think, the armor really gives you a chance to survive, to run away, even if you're in the middle of kind of a furball. Okay, what about partial repair since it's also on a timer, less exploitative? Yeah, I think that's reasonable. There's a ton of ways to repair armor, so I'd have to figure out what the trade-offs are in terms of what is this going to do to the game if that becomes a more common way of repairing armor using Domina powers. So it's interesting. I'll have to think about it. I'll tell you, there's certainly many times that I've used the restore power hoping that it would repair my armor. And wondering why it didn't repair my armor, so I totally get where you guys are going. I think Domina powers would be more balanced if they restocked when the player moved forward instead of over time. Well, more balanced, yeah, more balanced. That's a super amazing idea. It's certainly more consistent with the storyline. So. I do really like that. I'm gonna consider that. I mean, at minimum, this might be too obscure, but maybe the regeneration rate can somehow vary on like the rate at which you're moving forward. I don't think we need to. Well, I don't know. We'll figure something. We'll figure something out. But I really like that idea. I'm gonna just add that as a note. And maybe we can add it. I can add it as a ticket, or you can, John B. Watson. You can add it as a ticket. I think it's an interesting idea. Dominant is overpowered once player gets ingenuity and desperate escape. Yeah, I think that's fair. And by the way, that's one of the reasons why I'm hesitant. I don't know exactly how to move those dominant powers forward into part 2. I haven't done it yet. But you're absolutely right. Once the player has desperate escape, the game gets a whole lot easier. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to deal with that. Certainly at some point in the game, in part 2, I think you will end up losing dominant powers, but I don't know if that'll happen soon enough for the balance to work out. Okay. What's the point of getting dominant powers if you don't use them, though? No, I think it does. I think you do use them. I just think the issue is encouraging dominant powers should encourage a certain type of play, and if you don't want to play that way, if the trade-off is you get some other benefit. So I kind of do get that grinding gets you some benefits. Well, there should be a trade-off to lose some of the benefits that you get from grinding, because after all, grinding is never fun. So it's not something we necessarily want to encourage. I'm certainly not saying that I'm going to nerf dominant powers to the point where they just don't work, but I think it'd be interesting to experiment with that idea. I think it's an interesting idea. Yeah. Okay. Ingenuity is the big grinder. Yes. Yeah. And that I separate slightly. Ingenuity. Ingenuity itself as a power could potentially be hobbled in one of, I didn't want to say nerf, hobbled in one of many different ways. There's ways that we could make ingenuity, for instance, have limits so that you eventually can't, max out your things too far. Sustain it is okay. Strengthen too. Yeah, I think those are reasonable. I don't think Shatter might be the other one. It's not grindy because it's it's not a permanent benefit. All you can do is kill things. But Shatter also might end up being a little too powerful. Maybe in part 2, I don't know. Again, that might be easily fixed by just having more enemies be immune to Shatter. But I still haven't worked out a good way for that to happen. Like Shard's Jettisons, use 5 times for guaranteed results, then no more. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think that's reasonable. Shatter is a double-edged sword. I assume you say that because you lose any drops, and which I think is probably true. It is. You are right that you can't grind with Shatter because you're gonna lose whatever you're trying to get drops for. Are there any notifications when a new dominant power is unlocked? No, but that's a really good question. That's a really good question. There should be. It's hard sometimes to tell, but there should be. Generally, the power will get unlocked at a temple. At a Domina, Sisters of Domina shrine temple, if I remember correctly, when you contemplate, and so it would be quite reasonable, I think, for contemplation to tell you if you gain new powers, but I don't think it does that right now. And if you're talking about when you regain powers after the cooldown, then that's also a no. You don't get a notification. But again, that might be important. So that might also be interesting. Maybe that even requires a ROM or something. Though it wouldn't really be a ROM. It'd be something more mystical. Okay. Most get powers from donating slaves. Yeah, that's how I end up getting powers. Which I think is I think that's not bad. it's a decent trade-off. I think I may want to increase the rewards for giving slaves to the Commonwealth. Right now you get like a little bit of trinkets, but it might be interesting to get something more substantial if you save enough slaves. Like for instance, one thing I would love to do is if you rescue enough slaves for the Commonwealth, you open up some mission path that gives you something. In fact, that's something that I might do in a new expansion. Like you can open up some anti-Sung mission if you do that. That might be interesting. Just to make it, again, another trade-off for the player between getting dominant powers or getting something else that they might value. And certainly, we've talked about this a lot. Transcendence is more than just about the pilgrim. I fully expect to have adventures, more like Eternity Port, where the main character, the player, isn't a pilgrim. And so it would be cool to have other uses for slaves and all the other things. And of course, we're going to need some replacements for the things that people use dominant powers for. So we'll have to all come up with that. Aside from dominant, the best use of slaves is to feed the Territon Fabricator for easy disposition raises of Fabricator. That's awesome. I'd forgotten that, but that's definitely intentional. I mean, you want to make slaves be be valuable. I don't think there are any. Are there any penalties for going through the Territon? There might not be, which again, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I hope what I will do, I will at least add it as a conduct / achievement. Feeding slaves to the Fabricator. I don't know if it is already, but it should show up on your high score, as a conduct, just so that people can choose to play the other way if they want to. I don't know if it is or not. If you remember in Star Control, wasn't there some mechanic with slaves? I don't remember the exact mechanic. I think you could sell your slaves, sell slaves. I forgot exactly what the mechanic was. I know one of the ships, I think you could burn one of the crew to gain some power. But I thought there was also some way that you could find slaves and free them or sell them in some way, and I don't remember what it was. Even selling slaves at black market is no penalty provided you sell one coffin per transaction. Yeah, that's probably. I think that might be an exploit that I might want to fix at some point. But I don't know. Well, I'll have to figure it out. I'd like to do selling slaves to the black market should be part of kind of a complete switch to a black market path. It should allow you to get some black market benefits, but you should lose a lot of the benefits of being on the Commonwealth side, lose access to some stuff, even if it doesn't get you arrested. It should lose some access, and I haven't quite figured out how to do that. But again, it's all about choices. I just want to force the player to make interesting choices. Do I go down this path? With what it entails. Like, wouldn't it be cool? What I'm thinking of, think of Breaking Bad. Wouldn't it be cool if a black market path was kind of like the Breaking Bad storyline, where one act just forces another and another and another. That kind of gets you deeper and deeper down the black market path. I think that might be interesting if I could pull it off. I just don't know if I could pull it off. Yeah, there it is. The Druid ship in Star Control 2. You could sell crew. That's right. Sell more than 100 and you get penalties. What do you get in exchange? I think you just get money, right? Um, yeah, I don't remember. John B. Watson says you can also sell the future of the Shofixti race into slavery. I don't remember. I don't remember. That is pretty cool. By the way, talking about these games, and one of these days, it might be fun. I don't know if you guys will have to tell me where this is the appropriate forum, but it might be fun to play some other non-Kronosaur Productions space games on this channel, just to kind of as research, just to see, you know, how other people have solved similar problems to Transcendence, and how other people have dealt with some of you know, some of these issues. I mean, if nothing else, we might get some interesting ideas. So I don't know if you guys are interested. That might be another fun thing to do, is try out some other space games, and I can play them. There's a whole bunch that I just have never had time to play that I would love to try. There's a bunch of space games that I found. I never played No Man's Sky, and I know that's completely different from Transcendence, and I know it might not even be that interesting, but that's one I was curious about. And then there's a whole bunch of sort of Transcendence. I don't want to say copycats, because I know they were not influenced by it, but games similar to Transcendence. The one I'm thinking was Void Expanse, I think, or Void something. I can't remember. That sounds a lot like Transcendence. And then there's another one. Is it Death Race 2020 or Death something 2020? Done by a bunch of people that you know, I've kind of contacted from Germany. We've exchanged a lot of emails back and forth about, you know, kind of talking about our particular games, and I'm really excited about that game. That is a pretty cool game. So that's another game that I could try playing. I'd love to see you get a hold of Escape Velocity. Yeah, that's another one. I mean, obviously that came first. Although, believe it or not, Escape Velocity actually came right around the time that Transcendence 0.7 came out. You know, so I definitely was not influenced by it, because I didn't know it existed, and certainly they were not influenced by it. So it really was kind of a parallel evolution. But yeah, Escape Velocity is absolutely a game that I would love to play. It's I think many people still consider it the granddaddy of these kinds of games. The other one that I think is much more dated is probably the original, the Privateer and its sequels. Those are 3D space games, but Privateer, I think, was super popular, and I think they're kind of trying to recreate that in Star Citizen. You know, that's going to be a cross between Privateer and the Wing Commander series. So I don't know if Star Citizen ever gets finished. That might be another fun one to play with. Okay. Let's see. I will continue. Okay, so I was gonna do some Commonwealth missions. Let's do that. Let's do just kind of a vanilla game. Shame EVO is Mac only, though. I didn't think it was. I thought EVO. You might be thinking. Oh, EVO Overdrive or something. Yeah. Sorry. Escape Velocity Nova is, I think, what I'm thinking of. Escape Velocity Nova, I think, is the latest version. I think that runs on PCs, but I might be wrong. Let's start a series for Urquan Masters, the HD remake. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. Although I'll be honest, that game has a lot of grinding. I don't know that. I don't know that it's that fun to watch. If I remember correctly, it's just a ton of collecting minerals down on planets. You know, visiting planet, find minerals. You know, there's a lot of grinding in that game. I don't know that it's that much fun. And then the combat, well, I'd be horrible at it. And I think it's fairly unforgiving. Once you lose, you lose. I don't think you can restart. Yeah, Nova is the third game. Override is the second. And you're right. So EV escape velocity override is Mac only. But Nova, I think Nova is the one that I'm thinking of. I think that's the one that is probably the most polished. I think it's the one that most people remember, but I don't know. I might be wrong. Again, you guys can correct me. Okay, I'm obviously gonna cheat to get to the first carrier. In fact, let's even figure out where the first carrier is. I can't spell. Okay, so here are the carriers in this game. For some reason, and actually now I know why, the Terra is always either in A5 or GNS1. It's only the Terra only shows up on level 9 systems, and I think those are the only two level 9 systems other than Dantalion in the game. And it never shows up in Dantalion. I don't know why. I think that's a bug too. Okay, Sahara, if I remember correctly, is a medical ship. So I probably want Edaceti, which is actually pretty early. So I'll go to Edaceti for the Arctica. I think, right? Iron Parrot says, we can also try to make scale model ships in Space Engineers. I've never played with it, so that I think that would also be fun. Okay, next question that I have is, what do you guys think I need to be equipped with by what's kind of a relatively normal equipment to tackle some of those carrier missions? I remember when I played with the Freyr, I definitely had a tracking weapon. So I guess I'm gonna have. Let's have a NAMI missile launcher. Well, actually, I'm gonna let you guys tell me what I should have. I probably need one base buster. I wouldn't mind an Omni weapon, and I wouldn't mind a tracking missile weapon. I think probably I should get a NAMI missile launcher and then a bunch of, KM50s, or 500s or KM550s. And then maybe I should also get, let's see, I'm gonna be pretty far out. Well, let's start with Omniparticle is probably too weak. But it might be good for just the little mooks. Rassier Messer with Gothas. That's what level is what level is that? That's level 8. Is that normal for people to have? I guess so. I mean, it's not super expensive. Yeah, it's not. That's what I had with the Freyr, and that was pretty like killer. So maybe that's good enough. Let's see what else. How about some? I think I had an Omni Tev 9 and a Mark 5 howitzer last time I was that far. I think that's a reasonable. Let's do it with that, because I also don't want to. I don't want to, I don't want a turbo laser. Item Omni Tev 9. Okay, it's not picking it up. No, that's interesting. I wonder why it doesn't like it. Oh, is it a Tev 9 turret? No. What's it called? What's the wish term? It's not case sensitive, I don't think. Oh, maybe it is. Oh, you know what? It's probably space. That's it. That's what I'm screwing up. TV. Yeah, there we go. There's a space in there and it doesn't like spaces. Okay, and then Mark V howitzer, which I also think is probably right. And then for so we're talking level 8 or 9. So armor maybe ortho steel. I'll probably end up buying a lot of this at a fleet. So let me go to what reactor do I need? I probably need 1/5, maybe a 250. What are these? This one's a 60 megawatt, 40 megawatts. So I'm at 100 megawatts just for my weapons, and I probably need another 100 megawatts. So 250. Okay, I know that's probably not the best. Quadracarbide or hexacarbide? Okay, I think I'll end up. Let's go. I also need a military ID. Let's go install some of this stuff. And let's give myself some money. I don't want to be too optimized. I kind of want to balance it so that it's possible at, slightly kind of what an average loadout for people. We'll give myself 100,000. Okay. I probably should move forward to do this, but no. Oh right, I want weapons first. Let's get this guy. Oh, I gotta go further up. Okay, I didn't want to go all the way out there because I'll die in this sapphire before I even get there. There's the Arctica. I don't even know if there's a place to... Well, let's go to Thor's. They might install stuff for me. Okay. Here's hexacarbide. Let's do that. Oh, but it's got a penalty. Is that okay? I might be better off with... Oh no, that's level 7. I'll take the penalty. Maybe I'll buy myself a better drive. I mean, what's the point of Nephron? 150 though. Jeez. I don't think I can afford a 150 megawatt reactor. Let me install this. Oh. They won't let me. Oh, they won't even let me install. Use Orkan if you have corporate command. Oops. Ah, now I'm gonna die. Thank you. Use Orkan if I have corporate command. I do. But without Orkan, there's a huge gap of levels between NAMI and Raster Missile Launcher for tracking missiles. Got it. Got it. Okay. Oh, I was wrong. This is also a medical ship. I get confused. Let me get these up there. Okay, I need the reactor first. Now I can replace. And now I'm out of fuel, but that's okay. Refuel. I'm running out of money, but okay, so Someone said Orkan. Oops. Nope, that's not what I wanted. More money. More money. That's a level 6. Okay, unfortunately I have no tracking missiles. Okay, and now, oh, and shield, did I decide on shields? I guess I can go back now that I've got a reactor. Oops. Amazingly, the hour is almost over, which is sad but true. What am I? This is. I think this is too powerful. This might be more my speed right now. Although even 100 megawatts is, I think, might be pushing it. I'll upgrade if I can always upgrade later if I need it. Okay, and then nope, no repair. Oh, not even available. Oh man. Then let me do one more thing. Buy missiles. There we go. There we go. This is what I want. 100. Beautiful. I have a 55 and I have a 250. Okay. Let's then. Okay, so I don't want to go to EC. I think I want to move forward towards A1. I think is another medical frigate. So I think A3 is the earliest one. Okay, A3. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna try to do this level somewhat realistically without cheating. Cool. This is just debris. There's nothing interesting. Maybe I can sell though if I find someplace to sell. Are these? This is. I don't think this is. Yeah, I think this is just debris. I don't think this is. Or maybe it might be somebody, a real fight that I've passed. Let me get this guy. I can't afford to carry anything anymore. Okay, well that's okay. Let's keep going. Nami has Lucifer, but if you don't have launcher when it's late enough, it might not help. Yeah, agreed. Turret nest, that's not useful to me right now. Although I suppose I could sell stuff. Tycon. Manufacturing plant. Again, I'm looking for a place to sell stuff. There's not much, once you get this far out, there's not much to sell. Let me see, what else? There's a bunch of freighters moving around. Almond Station. Oh, okay, it's corporate. This is good. Let's refuel because I am going to run out of fuel, and let's sell stuff because I am going to need to sell. Otherwise, I will run out of. I can sell that, so I don't need that. Sell this lonely missile. Otherwise, it will run out of money. Okay, keep going. PM says that's a loot spawn, which I totally buy. Yeah, this is also loot spawn. That's from, or not loot spawn, but that's also a program spawn. Nice blaster. Here come some people. Oh, you know what? I need an. It's kind of hard to do things without a targeting ROM. And this, whoa! Oh, these guys are way too. I want to target this guy. No, there we go. I want him to. There we go. I almost got him. Man, he's nasty. As you guys know, the cheat is really once the other sandstorms get killed, the tundra starts opening up with its micro nukes, which is pretty deadly for me. So that's why I avoided them. Well, that's why I killed it first. Okay. Let's keep looking. I gotta look for the carrier. Omnithor Lab. Okay, I'm not actually finding that. Maybe I will have to cheat, otherwise we'll run out of time. I guess we're technically out of time. Careful with the sandstorm. Their speed is lackluster, but their damage is enough to kill even an over-leveled ship. These look like Farians. An exploit even the developer uses. Well, it's an exploit that I think I learned from you guys. So there's that. Ares outpost, which I'll try to avoid. Oh. These guys defend me? No, they don't. And I got some luminous? Oh my goodness. Do these guys get bored eventually? I'm probably too close to their station. I'm probably still within the don't enter range. Okay, let me see what I need to do. Let's try this guy. Nope, that's not working. Okay, how about I invoke? Because I'm not going to survive this. And... oh, jeez, I'm not gonna... I have to hope that they run away. And these guys, I'm just gonna pelt with missiles. Nope, don't waste missiles. That guy is immune. And I cannot... there we go. Jeez. This is definitely harder than I thought. Okay, I gotta go back to Amon Station, which is way over on the other side. Okay, I might even have to, like, lower my shields right now. I'm so low on fuel. Oh, I can probably refuel at these guys. I don't have to go all the way to Amon Station, do I? Yeah, there we go. I can repair here too. Good. Okay. Phew. Of course, I don't have much money. And I still haven't found the carrier. I wish there were some... there's the Penitent Monastery. I wish there were some... nope, avoid. Some hints. You know how, like, the Antarctica sends out... you know how the Antarctica sends out patrols? It would be cool if other carriers did that too, because it would make it easier to find Question: what is the lore reason why Luminous isn't hostile to the enemy human factions? I think it is hostile. It's just it's not always hostile. I may be wrong, but I didn't think. I think it's hostile to most things, just not not Territons. I think Territons are neutral from a faction perspective. So Luminous is neutral to them too. But I'll also be honest, and I certainly did that, alignment stuff before Eternity Port, so it may not. Oh man! You guys are using fusion fire? Or side-mounted? That's not fair. Oops, sorry. Ended up on code. That's not fair. This is much less survivable than I expected. I'm like rapidly running out of money. And also rapidly running out of fuel. My power usage is just ridiculous, which means I really need to upgrade my reactor. But I don't think I can afford to. A Kashiba. Yeah, I cannot afford the cost. I need more money. Okay, this is not quite as easy as I thought, and I haven't even found the carrier. It would be cool if Luminous fought with all humans. That guy's more powerful than I remember. It would be cool if Luminous fought with all humans. Oh, lightning cannon. Micro nukes. At least I can sell that and make some profit. I'll go to Amon Station. Destructive order. So, yeah. Some Zoom Pseudonym says I should cheat the Kashiba. I probably should. I can barely afford. I probably whatever. Will the Territons take this? There's a Territon nest. Wish a trading computer would tell me. Yeah, that's better. Okay. How much is the Kashiba? Another 100,000. Okay, well, okay, give myself another 100,000. And then I can sell this guy. Oh, sorry, that's me. Let me buy some more of these because I'm running out of these missiles. Sure, 200 because I'm just been spamming them like crazy. I like the old alignments. Uh-oh, sorry. Someone's really trying to get a hold of me. I apologize. Sorry, guys. There's always real life going on. Okay. I really need to refuel. I don't have any money to refuel though. And I still have not found my carrier. I guess I can check out. Let me check out this area of the nebula. I don't think I have. Okay, let's see. I'm in Killen. Wasn't it Edaceti? No, Edaceti. Oh, am I wrong? Edaceti, I did find the carrier. Yeah, Edaceti, but it was the Arctica, which was a medical carrier. So I'm in A3 now, I think. Yeah, I'm in A3, which should have the CSC India. So I think I think I am right. I just don't know where it is. It's probably high. It's oh, now who's which means no running on map only. CSC is a ship. It won't show up without visual confirmation. Is that true? I thought I fixed that. I'm not positive, but I thought I fixed that. In any case, I should have been able to see some kind of a, even if it doesn't show up on the map, it should show up in LRS, and I don't think I've seen. It would be pretty obvious in LRS because it would have, you know, a huge contingent of. Oh, luminous! It should have a huge contingent of. Sorry, thinking. Oh my goodness, these guys. Even a Mark V is not that great against these guys. I don't want to be in the nebula when I'm scanning. There's another nest. Contingent is useless against world ship. Oh, there's something. No, that's Tychon Venture, sorry. So you're saying maybe the world ship destroyed everything except the carrier. Maybe true, but in that case there might be a debris field that I should find. I'm burning fuel, like, exploring like this. I'm really kind of just going randomly. No wonder this game is so hard. And these are Farians, I'm not going to find anything here. Yeah, I think that's like the 7th time I've gone through that. Where else could it be? The other orbit, it generally isn't in that far out, so I hate to scan that orbit unless I have to. Unless I missed it around here, but I don't think I did. Sometimes I find stations by falling freighters coming from stargates. Yeah, I would love to do that. I don't think the carrier. I don't think the carriers. And again, this is something that I wish it did. Well, here's a wreck field. Maybe this is a dead carrier. Well, it's something. Oh, it is a dead carrier. Well, so much for that. Oh, that sucks. And by the way, why is all this stuff here? Shouldn't this be destroyed? Well, very sad. World ship eats Commonwealth fleets like popcorn, and that is absolutely obvious in retrospect. I don't have any Orkans though. I can sell these though. Huh. Too heavy. Alright, well, that's sad, but I guess now I have to go somewhere else. Well, you were right. I'd love to do a simulation and see how often carriers are actually killed. It's much more often than I think I expected. So, which makes me, it says a lot of credits on that wreck, which makes me think that there's a bug because when a carrier gets destroyed, it's supposed to destroy most of its cargo. CSCs desperately need something with either thermo or ion for dealing with world ships. Yeah, it's yeah. Ideally, if we want to be realistic, it's it's a carrier, right? So it shouldn't have these massive weapons. That's what the Centurions are for. So if anything, I think this is just saying the Centurions are too weak, and I don't know if that just needs to have more. We need to have more powerful Centurions. The major issue is that they aren't smart with Centurions. Yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree. I'm not even sure. Smart is one thing. Maybe we can fix that, although I don't think we can get a ton better. But I think in general they're also not. They're just not very. The Centurions are not powerful. And then the other thing that I'd like to do is, there's really no reason for a xenophobe to challenge a carrier. Well, I don't know. Do I want to go down that road? I don't know. Because I'm not sure I want the opposite also, which is the carrier is so powerful that when the Centurion gets close, it just gets destroyed, and now you get a field of, xenophobe wrecks around the carrier. That's not, I think, as fun either for the player. So I think what I need to do is both beef up the Centurion squadrons so that they can actually really do defend the carrier, and then simultaneously I need to add intelligence to the xenophobes so that they don't just blindly destroy carriers, which they really shouldn't be. They should be they should be afraid of carriers, because even if they can kill them, they should get very damaged. Problem is, xenophobes have every reason to challenge the CSC because the world ship is immune to all their weapons. Yeah, and I guess that's what I would say. Is I think we still would have to upgrade the Centurions so that they can present a real challenge to world ships. And I think that's realistic. I mean, you would think that they would eventually develop the weapons to do that. And then I think if we have an AI on the xenophobes to basically say if they take a certain amount of damage, they flee, and they avoid the threat, I think that would also be pretty reasonable, and I hope that might take care of it. And by the way, the Gaian terraformers should have very similar AI, so I think that's something that we'd have to do. I'm sure there is already a ticket on that, so I'm not gonna. Whoa! Sorry, that's heat up. If it's not one thing, it's another. Okay, sorry. Just dealing with Hilo. Okay, we're just about out of time. Let me try one more thing. A3A is the next system. Let's go there, and where am I, by the way? Yeah, so I think the Lee system is where I want to be. Let's go there and find the carrier. There's another carrier there. Centaurians either need light ion blasters or NM900 launchers. I don't disagree. You know, and I think maybe the other thing we could do. I gotta think about this. I mean, maybe. Whoa, speaking of, something's going on here. Oh, it's another world ship. Well, at least the Terratons can handle it. Terratons have no problems. And there's Point Juno, and there's a CSC America. Okay. Here we go. Basically, Centaurians need to be armed like current Britannias. The problem is particle resistance immune enemies are common in Outer Realm. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think my thought is here's another thing I was thinking. Ares already uses ion. Why not have Centaurians and even Britannias use thermo? That might be an interesting contrast. I mean, as part of this, I was thinking, if you remember last time we talked, I think a couple of episodes ago, when I was showing off the new Centurion models, I was talking about maybe equipping them with tritium cannons, but tritium cannons are a little bit high level. I wish we had an intermediate, like a level 7 thermo cannon that had a fairly rapid fire rate. I don't think we have that. So it might be we might invent a weapon, a thermal weapon for Centaurians, like the Centurion M. Centurion M maybe has those thermal weapons. I think that might be interesting. And then the Britannia can stay a more of a base buster with missiles. It probably doesn't need a pod, but should have real actual missile launcher with so I don't know, maybe we can do something like that. The other thing we could do is the Centaurians are supposed to kind of be this workhorse. Maybe there could be a variant of the Centurion that has the NM9000 pods, 900 launchers. That might also be cool. You probably need to rip off the Dwarg Behemoths or Dreaming Horde from EP. Oh, yeah. In terms of a cannon, yeah. I think that's fair. What's going on here? Ah, carrier hitting its own ships. Okay. We got about 10 minutes. Brits with trits. Oh God. We got about 10 minutes, so let's do this. Good to see you. Got a mission. Freighter. Okay, this is part of the. This is the Juan Carlos mission, if I remember correctly. I don't know if I should clear out the system before I do this. Probably I should, but I'm not going to. I also wonder if... Oh, right. Oh, jeez, these guys... I don't want to kill Juan Carlos, but and I was so close, so close. Hey, doesn't he have doesn't he have last words when I don't know if he used to. I thought he had. I thought you got to see a death scene if he got killed. I'll double check that. I might have gotten lost in translation. And then, of course, it would be nice if here they acknowledged anything about Juan Carlos's death. Okay, let's go. Recon mission of an Ares commune. Okay. Man, they are just attacking like crazy. Sentries. Huh, mission complete. I didn't even get that close. But I'm not complaining. What if you had variant Britannias, some with Omni Tev 9s and some with fixed thermal weapons? Yeah, I buy that. Poor Carlos died like a new player meeting the Ares for the first time. He's probably way under leveled. I forgot what the here's another recon. I forgot what the is he sending me to the exact same station? I guess that's okay. I forgot what the exact loadout of Juan Carlos is, but I don't think it's very good. This mission could be a little bit harder. Like, I think using some of the Eternity Port logic, where you have to stay within range of the station for a little bit of time, might be interesting. Maybe like later missions you have to do that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm just writing this down. Okay. It might vary by how big your screen is. Yeah, the recon stuff I think is right now based on when it paints on your screen, which I think is, I should write that down because that's probably not scalable either. It should be based on distance, on absolute distance. Otherwise, I think people with big screens have too much of an advantage. I mean, people with big screens have an advantage anyways, but... Oh, hey! Privateer. Okay. Ares Freighter. Okay. So this I have to destroy the Ares Freighter. Okay, so I'm going to flip to Mark V howitzers and maybe missiles. Oh, this is just a Polar 1 freighter, which is not that hard. Whoops, I just hit a Farian. Or somebody hit a Farian. I'm going to try to hit it. I was trying to hit it in the engines, but... There we go. Death Cube, cool. And a bunch of terracnium. Oh, that's awesome. That I can sell. I don't know where, but I can sell it. Not Tycon Ventures, though. They don't buy it. You could require deploying a scanning pod like the Heretic mission. Have to plant them within a certain distance of the station, and they need not be destroyed before they can gather their data. That's a great idea. I gotta write that down too. Deploy scanning pods and defend. I like that also because then, you know, it kind of teaches you how to do that before you get to Heretic. I mean, one of the things that is annoying about Heretic is, you know, a lot of the missions you get to do you've never done before, which is kind of annoying. So it would be nice if that were like that. That were better. I guess I could just sell Rin here. Get some Rin. There should be some sort of cleanup crew around CSCs. They get clusters of shipwrecks around them that block their shots. Yeah, that's another great. That's a great point too. I just wrote it down. Stations have that already with their civilian ships will destroy wrecks, so it's not unreasonable to expect that CSCs would do that too. I mean, you know, the fleet is kind of precarious in terms of its resources, so it would want to loot as much as it could. I don't know what that was that just got killed, but... Okay, I'm gonna do one more, and then... Except I'm gonna decline because I want to repair and I want to refuel. Okay. I'm just like crunching through. Okay, that's good enough. Oops. Flight deck. Executive officer. Ares convoy. Amazingly, the complement of Centurions has survived. So I think that's probable because of the. There's another Polar 1. It's probably, I think, the upgraded Centurion M's are a little bit hardier than the previous one. I think by now that complement of Centurions would normally be dead. And here comes a carrier. Don't hit me! Oh, somebody hit me. You'd think the Polar would avoid the carrier, but I guess not. There we go. Oh, nice. Some Orkan missiles. Armor repair kits. That's all good stuff. Trying to get in its firing solution. Hey, has anyone thought of the idea of having scuttle charges for wrecks? That sounds like a good idea. Fleet mission changes. Hi NMS, welcome. No, you know, I have a bunch of bugs on these missions, so I'm just testing out just to see what the balance is. But I actually really, to be honest, I only spent the last 10 minutes of this playing. In fact, and now probably it's time for me to go. But let me just repair. Maybe I'll continue later. Because I do have to go. Alright. But, oh, here we go again with something. It's always something. Yeah, see, notice how the carrier is actually trying to avoid hitting its own ships. I think in some cases it just guesses wrong. And even now it looks like the carrier has not lost a single Centurion, which is, again, I think unusual and doesn't usually happen. So I think the upgraded Centurions has kind of worked. But still, I do think I'm going to try to, might as well in this version, upgrade them to use a thermo weapon and see if that helps a little bit. I think that might be an interesting change. And you know what? At that point, I might then flip even the carrier. This might be almost too big of a change, but I think it might still be okay. I mean, think about it, right? It just might be a really nice contrast with Ares. Ares uses a ton of energy weapons, you know, the ion cannons and the positron cannons. Maybe the fleet should use thermo weapons and make just feel different. I'm gonna try it. That might be good. Okay. I think it's probably time for me to go. Let me read some last minute comments. You could give Britannia's particle reflect on their rear armor. The other thing I could do is add some kind of friendly fire, you know, checks. But you know, I don't know. Usually if nothing's moving, if the ships were not moving, the carrier would not hit anything. It's only the fact that ships move in the way of the shots, I think, because I think that's how the algorithm works. That's when you get into trouble. I could widen the range of the exclusion zone, but I don't know. I'll have to see. Okay, but that's it for me. It's certainly past my time. But thanks again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating in the show. This was mostly a question and answer show, so there certainly were a good number of questions. So I'm really thankful for that. I'm going to continue working on 1.8 alpha beta 1. I should have that done either by this weekend or Monday, but stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Oh, Multiverse 2 was down earlier. Correct. Yeah. This is just a minor infrastructure thing. I temporarily transferred the servers up to AWS just to test it out, and also because we were having some power problems. They were, you know, I don't know, rebuilding power lines. Who knows what they were doing? But I temporarily transferred the server for the last week. It's been on AWS, and it worked. I thought it worked pretty well. I mean, there's cases where it was a little bit slower, but the bandwidth was much higher. So some things I think felt faster, even though other things I think felt slower. Because of that, there's a bunch of DNS issues. So yeah, Multiverse 2, which generally points directly to my servers, was down. Now it should be back. But Multiverse should have been up. So I don't know. Hopefully that still worked. But everything should be back now. Okay, well, thank you very much again. Thanks for everything, and I will see you all in a week. All right, bye-bye.